What's up? Thank you for coming back to my channel. My name is Kiera. Today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me video. We're going to go through a couple products. I have a few things that are new that I want to try on camera. For example, I have the Mercier Silk Moisturizing Photo Edition Foundation that I really want to try, and this beautiful palette. This is the Nabla Secret Palette. Let me just show you these colors. Like, oh my god. Oh my god, is it pretty? It's like pretty and like kind of neutral, so I can totally see me using this like every day or whatever. I recently got this palette, and I also recently got a Nabla highlighter. I've heard nothing but good things about this one. This one is in the shade Amnesia. I'm excited to try this. So let's just go ahead and jump in to the whole get ready with me. I hope I sound better. I feel like I sound like significantly less sick than my last video. So regardless, we're gonna go and start. So I believe in my last video I mentioned how I had went on like a little bit of a staycation. Like I was out of town during the holiday season this year, and that was the first time that I've ever been in a scenario kind of like that, where I was like not in the same city as like all my friends and family and stuff, which was interesting to say the least. But I won't even lie and act like I didn't have a whole blast. If you have been following me on Instagram, you've probably seen the stories of me eating at places, exploring new things, just seeing new cool different locations and stuff. I was hanging out with my boyfriend for like 2 weeks in Orlando and had the time of my life. Honestly, I would even dare to say it was the highlight of my whole entire 2019. So I'm very excited about that. I had an awesome time. I overpacked. Is that a surprise? I'm someone who clearly takes a lot of pride in like what they dress like and making sure that I look in a way that I want to, but I also realize that what I wear on a daily basis is very much so influenced on how I feel. So depending upon how I feel may depend upon what outfit I wear, so I need options upon options upon options upon options. Alright, I believe I already filmed the video of me going through everything I packed, since no one asked me, but I figured somebody would be curious about like getting an idea of like, out of all the clothes that I have, what would I actually take on a trip? Because of course I have items in my closet that would be more so considered like special occasion type of pieces, and that's more to say like, yeah, I found reasons and ways to wear a lot of stuff that I hadn't worn in my closet before. There were some items I intended to wear, but didn't get a chance to wear. Again, as I stated, I overpacked, but again, that should not be a surprise. So I did film a video of going through everything that I brought with me. Though I will be real, having gone out of town for that period of time has made me realize that I really don't need as much stuff when it comes to like an everyday, like comfort kind of thing. Like I don't need as many things as I thought that I needed or felt like I'd needed, which is great because that helps me condense things down. I am moving in like a couple of weeks now. I'm excited about it because I've been wanting to move for a while now, and moving is one of those things where you get excited about the idea of like, I'm gonna be in a new place and like move and everything, and it's gonna be beautiful, and then the actual process of packing boxes is like the least fun part to me. I absolutely hate packing boxes. Like, oh my gosh, it like really starts to make you hate owning anything, and I mean anything. But at this point, I am kind of lucky in the sense that most of my stuff is already actually packed. I'm currently staying with my dad. I don't think I mentioned that before, but I was staying on my own, and then I had to move in with my dad for a few months, and I'm finally going to be moving back out again. Maybe one day I'll go into a story time of exactly why I had to move back into my dad, because it's messy. We just won't go into that right now. Talk about all the really dope vegan stuff I ate while I was in Orlando. There's so many good places up there as well that were so tasty, and I'm so excited. I'm excited to be in a city where I'll be able to like eat at places like that more often. I'm probably still not going to eat out all the time because, in a way, being vegan has helped me save money because I don't eat out very often because there's not too many places around me that actually cater to my diet. So therefore, it really limits how much I do eat out. But even with being in a city that's gonna have options for me like all the time, I still don't think I'm gonna eat out that much because I do enjoy cooking. I'm excited to be able to have a kitchen again. I'm gonna have a pantry this time. My previous apartment did not have a pantry. So that's exciting. I'm also gonna have a dishwasher, which I had a dishwasher in my previous apartment. But you know, sometimes you be forgetting what exactly be like really nice features to have when you just don't have them, you know? Another thing I really wanted to kind of talk about was the idea of like no buys. I was talking to my friend Le Pocket Change on Instagram. If you're not following her, you're not hip to her. I don't know where you've been, but you need to go follow her because she's amazing. She's so sweet, very informative. She says that she rambles, but like when she talks about stuff, I'm hooked onto every word she says. That girl can convince me to probably buy anything. I love her. I love her style of makeup. Her color combinations are out of this freaking world. She has an eye for a color story that is unmatched. And she's so sweet and beautiful. I was so sad because she was actually visiting family here in Florida during the holiday. And was she technically in driving distance to me? Yes, but it was far. Me and her were talking about no buys and how sometimes they just don't really work for people. And the whole idea of like people making it sound like having a smaller makeup collection in general is just the best route. And if you have a huge collection, there's something wrong with you. And I do kind of want to get rid of that idea simply because I think that there's already this inherent shame for a lot of people who are beauty enthusiasts of spending money fruitlessly, kind of like because it's just a hobby. But this is my hobby. It's not like I spend a ton of money every single month on makeup. Yes, I do go to Ulta pretty frequently. In fact, I am going to be going there right after I finish getting ready and stuff. I also need to eat because I'm hungry. But I do go to Ulta a decent amount, but just because like my hobby is beauty doesn't necessarily mean that like, you know, I should have like a weird shame about owning a ton of things for my hobby. I don't feel like there's that same level of shame or like dissonance when it comes to people who have other hobbies. Like for example, if you're really into comic books, I don't feel like people really be shaming you for having a large comic book collection. That makes sense. That's your hobby. That's your thing that you're into. Why wouldn't you own a ton of that? If my hobby is makeup, yeah, it makes sense that I'd have a ton of lipsticks. That's my hobby. It's what I do. But at the same time, I feel like there's that shame that just comes from like having a larger collection of something that is socialized to be feminine. I think that's pretty much what it comes down to. If this was a hobby that wasn't mostly seen as a feminist or not feminist, but feminized hobby, we wouldn't be having this discussion. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. But because it is, it's seen as like frivolous and a waste of money and a waste of time and a waste of space. That's easy for anybody to say about any hobby that they themselves are not into. I, for example, can't fully get into what's a hobby that people collect a lot of things? Pokemon. I don't know. I personally can't really get into that, but I'm also not a fan of Pokemon to that extent. So because of that, I can't, my judgment on how many Pokemon cards somebody actually should have wouldn't really make sense. It wouldn't really be relevant because I'm not a fan of that. Of course, I'm going to think more than 10 is too many because that's not my thing. I don't know anything about that in comparison. But I do kind of wish that like when people talked about going on no buys, it wasn't more so as like a I feel like I'm overspending because I could be spending this money elsewhere. Like, unless, what I'm basically trying to say is, it's okay if you want to go on a no-buy. But I think the conversation that's always had around having a no-buy or a slow buy or anything, or just decluttering stuff and trying to maintain and get to having a smaller collection, these things in and of itself are totally fine. It's just like how people talk about it that I think is what starts to raise an issue. Because just because you may have a smaller collection and you will feel better and cleaner of yourself with having a smaller collection does not inherently mean that everybody else needs to also get on the bandwagon of having a smaller collection. Because let's not act like that wasn't a thing of having a huge collection a couple years ago. But I do think that we can't act like everybody's collection and how they feel about their collection is the same. I did go on a no-buy before. I went on a no-buy for 6 months, and yeah, I didn't really buy anything. In that sense, it was great. But what happened was I found that I started to have this weird level of like shame around spending any extra money on myself in any outlet. And that even went into like grocery shopping. Like in the sense where I'd be like, oh, I don't really need like a bag of like chips or cheese or whatever and all of that other stuff. Like basically anything that I felt could be seen as potentially frivolous became something I just wouldn't buy in general for anything and everything. And that's not a bad thing, but it's a mindset that could be kind of dangerous and like slide into being extreme for absolutely no reason. And for me, I felt like even after I ended my no buy basically, that I didn't even really want to buy anything in general. It took me a while before I even wanted to like repurchase stuff that like I liked and knew that I liked. I think when you go into being on a no buy, you start looking at it as buying anything can be bad because anything could be frivolous. Where does the line start to get drawn there? Or at least that's the issue I was personally starting to have when I was on a no buy. And that's one thing that I'm like, I want us to talk about that because overconsumption in the beauty community is a thing. I'm not going to act like it isn't. It definitely is a thing. I'm sure that all of us buy and consume and throw away a lot of like plastic and everything. For me, a lot of my skincare comes in glass stuff now, so I can actually recycle. Woo-hoo, that's amazing. But that's not the large majority of most beauty products. Like, it's just not the case. Going on no buys is fine. The mindset behind your no buy really does matter though. Some people go on a no buy and it's perfectly fine for them. But I think it really just depends upon why are you going on a no buy. Are you going on a no buy because everybody around you is going on a no buy? Are you going on a no buy because you can't afford to really buy anything, so you might as well just say you're going on a no buy? Are you going on a no buy because you just want to work through what you actually have in your collection and really touch everything and enjoy everything in your collection first? Is that why you're going on a no buy? What exactly is the reason? And really get down to the root of it, because that's going to affect how a no buy goes for you. I will admit, I think that was the issue that I was having a lot with my no buy, and then that whole bias and shame and everything that started to roll together. But as through therapy, love therapy, highly suggest therapy for everybody if you're able to and you can afford it, because I do recognize in this country, the United States, that is not a reality for a lot of people. A lot of people cannot have therapy. I am thankful that I am. And in therapy, I've realized that in general, I've been kind of socialized in this idea of thinking that my needs don't really matter, in the sense that you look at something and it's like, is this necessary? And especially if you're someone who's grown up in an environment where money may have not always been like a fluid thing coming in and out, or if you were in an environment where people around you wouldn't have the most exactly like healthy relationships when it comes to buying and purchasing things. So in that mindset, it can be hard when you get to being an adult to look at stuff from an actual mature and emotionally intelligent standpoint, looking and being like, this is just something that I feel would benefit my life or make me happier, or even though this doesn't really serve a huge enormous purpose in my life, it's just something that I want and I like and I can't afford it. There's nothing that should stop you from really going forward if that's what you want to do. That's my point that I basically wanted to make when it came to like just thinking about no buys and talking about them, because I think that they can be beneficial. And I remember there was that whole like period of time on YouTube out of nowhere where everybody decided they're going on like a no buy, and I'm thankful that was a thing, because I do feel like in general with online content, with like YouTube videos at least, that it has gone down significantly in how many hauls we're seeing and all of that, which is still fun. But I still enjoy a good haul every now and then. I think I posted one like a couple weeks back or so here, and I still like hauls, but I don't like see them as often in my subscription feed. That could also just be because of who I watch now. But in general, I think that it did us all a big favor to be able to at least step back and look at the amount of makeup that we do consume. When you try to pan something, you really realize how much product comes in anything. And you realize like, oh, I have way more of this than I actually need, Like, y'all ever finished a lotion? I'd hope so. Even though I may not finish a lot of the products that I own, if I'm able to enjoy them while I have them before they go bad, I feel like I've gotten my money's worth out of them. I don't feel like you necessarily have to finish a product to feel like you've gotten your money out of it. Or at least for me, that's not my personal opinion. Looks really, really nice. I actually like how that looks on my skin. I'm just not too sure about the color. The color is the part that's like really throwing me for a whole entire loop because I feel like I look slightly orange at every foundation brand. Y'all realize none of us are pumpkins, right? It's being like olive toned when you're like the depth of shade that I am, simply because people act like olives only exist in like lighter skin tones, as if I can't be darker and also olive, which sucks because we get results like this. Whatever. We're gonna fix it. we're gonna easily fix this. I'm going to actually, no, that may not be light enough of an under eye highlight. We're going to be taking this is the Wet n Wild Cushion Foundation. This is in the shade Honey Beige. This is super light. I only ever use this for underneath my eyes. I have multiple shades of like the same foundations, by the way. I don't think I'm the only one who does that, but like I definitely do that all the time where I'll like buy a foundation, and if it's not my shade, I'm like, oh, that's fine. If it's only like a couple shades too light or whatever, I'll keep it. I won't return it, and I'll just like use it as under eye or use it for my under eye. And I'm just gonna take a sponge here and just kind of blend that out a little bit. I don't know how I'm looking on camera. Am I looking okay? I feel like I look okay on camera, and then in person I'm over here like, boy golly. I don't set New Year's resolutions. I don't know if y'all do. I don't. I set intentions, which I like to think is like a bougier version of like a resolution. But with a intention, I feel like I don't have as strict of like a rule or anything like that. It's just like, this is something I intend to do in the year. If it doesn't come to fruition, I intended to do it. You know, it's different. My intentions this year are definitely to be more organized, work on making sure that I am good with my self-care. That's something that I started near the tail end of 2019, and I just want to continue with it. I'm now going in with that Nabla skin glazing. Doesn't that sound nice? Highlighter in the shade Amnesia. This just looks so beautiful. Oh, I'm taking this on a Real Techniques setting brush. I use this for highlighting. I kind of wish it had a mirror at the top, but I also realized that when you close it, you can clearly see the color. I've been really into like pink rose gold toned highlight. Whoa, my God. That's beautiful. That's like lightly beautiful. Just like, it looks like a little bit of like a glaze. You just put it on your face and it just looks like wonderful shimmer, I guess, in a way. Let's just go black. Let's do a black gloss. That could be really cute. I'm only really planning on going to like, I'm going to Ulta, and I'm probably going to take pictures in this outfit that I currently have on, and I might get Starbucks. I don't know. We're gonna do black. We're gonna do a black gloss. But this is the look that I came up with. What is y'all's New Year's resolutions or intentions or anything that you want to get into this year? Any sort of plans? Are you traveling anywhere? Let me know where you're traveling to so I can be low-key jealous about it. Let me know how the end of your 2019 went. If you tried any of these products, I'm gonna try to list them all down below. Editing me, I'm so sorry, but girl, you're gonna have to do that. Like, yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out with me and just chilling, I guess. I hope to see you somewhere on the internet soon. Follow me on my Instagram. I'm way more active over there. I post every single day. My handle there is Ugh.Kerria, Kerria. My Pinterest and everything will be linked down below. My Tumblr, if you want to see what memes I'm laughing at in the recent span of time. Yeah, my Pinterest has like my aesthetic board and interest boards and stuff like that. What else do I link down below? My Depop, if you ever want to shop my closet or find anything that I'm getting rid of. So yeah, all of that will be linked down below. And again, I hope to catch you on the internet somewhere. Take care.